Godfather Eltee Volume 1 coming soon. Just trying to find my groove back. It's been fun. I've been working on this project since December. Everything was going pretty good, but it's been nothing but setbacks. You know, we started out and, you know, I was putting a little makeshift studio together and, you know, then I found out I had mold in my basement. So I had to have the foundation folk come in, look at it, figure out what was going on. And, you know, we found out that, you know, it was leaking. So the entire basement was wet, you know, so it was definitely a lot of mold everywhere. So we had to come in and put a sump pump in, put the drains in all along the wall, the outer walls, and then install a sump pump. And then I decided to just remodel it, do a full remodel and come up with a concept that, you know, I think is going to turn out pretty dope. But it kind of threw my mojo off a little bit, but I kept going. I was able to write to about 8 or 9 songs and, you know, at least making my way through them. And then my sister passed away in February. And so that was another setback mentally because, you know, it was just hard to shake back. And I've been trying to get my mind back focused. It's now April. I started back listening to music a few weeks ago, and you know, it's coming back. So like I said, I, you know, have always been able to write, but, you know, never did anything officially. And so I'm excited, man. This project sounds real good. It sounds amazing. And, you know, I'm just getting back to writing. And the purpose again for this is, you know, I just want to inspire people because I want people to know that it doesn't matter what your age is. You can do anything. I just don't like the concept of being told that you have to be a certain age to do something. And I think that in hip hop, you know, people try to make hip hop out to be this young thing. And because it's an industry that controls, you know, the music and the sales, you know, they promote a certain type of sound. They promote, you know, certain type of artists. And overall, it's just art. Just make art. And I come from hip hop. You know, hip hop is our generation. You know, we're talking about real hip hop, original hip hop. So when it comes to original hip hop, you know, that's everything to me. And so I'm not going to let anybody tell me about my art, about my culture, you know, about my hip hop that I seen. You know, I was born into this and I seen it early. And I just think it's messed up that, you know, people try to put a label on it and try to tell you what it is when we know that hip hop is more than just music. Yes, there's rap and there's a rap industry, and that industry is controlled by some other people outside of the culture. And those people promote and back and fund certain types of artists. And they try to make the music that's promoted, that everyone hears, at least from a perspective of radio, to the masses. You know, they try to promote a certain type of sound and a certain age, you know. And I get that because it's young people that are the consumers. So when it comes to actually consuming it from a business perspective, you know, older people they're not gonna pay for the music the same way. So I get the business side of it, but, you know, it's unfortunate that there's not more artists that are being heard because there's lots of artists that have been doing this since they were young and they're now 45, 50, 55, 60 years old and they can still rap, they can still flow, they can still make the music. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like that concept. I don't like the concept of anybody being told what they can and cannot do, right? Especially when it comes to their age. So the project should be out this summer, maybe early summer, maybe midsummer, you know. So trying to find the right title. So far, Godfather Eltee Volume 1 is the title. So I'm not trying to do this commercially. I'm not trying to be a commercial rapper. I'm trying to really inspire people. I really want to get people to see this, hear this, and you know, just think about things that they can do themselves, things that they can, you know, go back out and do. You know, it's never too late.